Gundam 002 Gundam Dynames, one of the 4 main celestial being mobile suits from Season 1 of Gundam 00. In essence, an anime that was the second coming of Gundam Wing, Gundam 00 follows an all-Gundam team of pilots, each of their mobile suits sharing many similarities, but fulfilling completely different battlefield roles. However, until this day, only the Gundams wielded by the main character, Setsuna F. have gotten the Master Grade 1100 treatment. But it seems like the reign of Setsuna has ended and enter the Master Grade Gundam Dynames. Blowing any version of Setsuna's MG suits completely out of the water, this is the first ever Master Grade kit I've reviewed and ranked Gundarium tier. This is a Master Grade that is pretty much perfect in every way. And that's not even the best thing about this kit. No, that's the shining ray of hope on the leftover plastic. Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another Master Grade Gundam review, and today I'm taking a look at this, something I have and I know you've been waiting for a long time, and that of course is the Master Grade Dynames. And I'll just mention right off the bat that yes, this thing is ridiculously good. So damn good. But anyway, if you do want one of your own, as usual, this video would not be possible without those awesome people at Hobbylink Japan. So if you do want one of these of your own, then check out that link right now in the description. Now here we go. So first off, there is a brief overlook of everything that comes in the box. So these little pieces right here, this is all that comes left over in the box. So you know when there's little to nothing left on the runners that this kit was planned from the ground up by Bandai. Not an afterthought, not a second thought. This was planned from the ground up and it shows. It really does. So today I'm actually going to mix things up a little bit, and I want your feedback on this. Do you prefer it this way or the way it was before? Usually I go with the aesthetics first, but today I'm going with the accessories. And we'll take a look at the kit itself just after. So there is the Dynames with everything that it comes with, and we get quite a lot in here. Of course, that's the sniper rifle, the pair of pistols, holsters for the pistols, small shields, big shields, base adapter, little lock-on, or should I say big lock-on, as well as the beam sabers. As for the type of hands that we get in here, these are the swappable finger type, so that means this is not the same as the last few Setsuna 00 kits we saw before, which were that old school style 3 fingers, index finger, thumb style hand. As for the interchangeable fingers we get in here, it's the standard set of fists, widespread hands, standard holding hands, as well as rifle holding hands with the trigger finger. As these are quite similar to what we would have seen before with Age and the gym kits that have come out recently with these kind of hands, you guys asked me, do the gym's weapons work with this kit? So first off, I'll mention these are a daintier, newly designed version of the hand, so that means these are completely newly designed, which means Kyrios and Virtue confirmed. But besides that, the answer is, can it use the gym's weapons? Well, yes. There it is holding the submachine gun, and it holds it at a bit of an angle, but it fits in pretty perfectly. And of course we have to try the Gym 2 Sniper's sniper rifle, and that fits in there perfectly as well if you want to give it a bit of a technological downgrade. But all in all, even though they're a daintier, smaller variant of the hand, they are able to use the Gym's weapons, and I assume the Age weapons as well. If you really want to know about that, Age 2 Magnum will be coming up very soon, and I can try then. So moving on to more of what comes in this box, we've got 2 variants of the shields. First off, we've got the smaller ones. These can attach up here onto the shoulder. We've got 3 connection points up onto the shoulder, which are very smartly designed. These can clip onto any of these that you want. The standard clip-on point is the sides right here, unless you're using the bigger variants of the shields. Speaking of the bigger variants of the shields, these have 3 points of articulation, as you can see right here. These don't attach with that little clip like the other ones. These have this big peg, slots into the hole like so. When using these, you can pop the smaller ones around onto the back. Well, technically, you could put them on the front if you wanted to. And all in all, these are perfect. Don't weigh the kit down in any way, aren't floppy. Again, another thing done right by this kit right here. Just a bit of a tip if you do plan to buy this kit or you do have this kit, look at the design right here. They clip on mainly on the top. So clip them on from the top, slide them in underneath like so. And when you're taking them off, they slide off from the bottom first, then the top. At first I got a little bit confused, so that's how you do it. So moving on to the weapons, first up is the beam sabers, and hey, hallelujah! We actually do have beams in this box. These are the flatter style beams, as you see a lot in 00 and Age. Pretty simply, these just pop into the hands, pop in the beam, there you go. And when not in use, these store around here on the mega butt flap. Next up then are the GN beam pistols. These are very nicely separated into a grey plastic and an almost black plastic. kind of giving them a bit of a system weapons look. Around on the front, we do have that little sensor or camera there. You do have the choice of putting the sticker underneath or on top. I chose underneath. These just slot into the hands just like this, and you know how I feel about dual pistol wielding mecha. It's just such a crazy idea to have such a massive, monolithic robot wielding a pair of pistols. It's awesome. As well as the pistols, we've got the holsters. They open up simply like this. To put in the pistol, it just slides into the front section like that, closes up. This has a very unique little attachment point on the side here. It's very secure, attaches into the legs like so, and of course that can open and close while on the leg. Awesome. When it comes to the weapons, the main event is this right here, and that is the GN Sniper Rifle. So first off, I'll mention this thing is awesome. It has those holographic sections around here in the back, which is the GN wires. This has something that I love about the weapon designs in Gundam 00. This section right here slots into the forearm, so when this is in the hand like this, it is secured in perfectly. Not gonna fall off, and it just feels so good. As for the weapon itself, this section here can slide back and forward, the stock that is. The sight that can move side to side. Once again, we do have a sticker in behind that. You can choose to put it on top. We've got a white section up here, as well as down here. This handle can slide forward and back, move up out of the way. The bipod in the front can slide down like so, but there is a bit of a negative aspect here. These longer versions right here, parts form. They don't slide out, so if you want that longer bipod, you need to pull off these little pieces, pop these ones in, and that's what it's like there. I would have liked to see that slide in and out so you don't have to mess around with parts. When you've got a lot of Gundams and a lot of parts, it can become a real pain in the ass to find them. So I would have preferred to see that slide, but still, I'll let it slide. Finally, then we do have one of those clip points right here, so that can clip onto any of these hard points on the shoulder, but of course the main one is this one right here in the front of the right hand shoulder. So moving on to the last couple of things in here, and of course these are Master Grade staples. That of course is the base adapter. This one's quite good. It doesn't clip on, it slides down into position. Very, very nice. And finally then is the little figure of Lockon. And it's funny, I mentioned in the last video that this is quite big, but I think my eyes were deceiving me. Maybe it's just the fact that it has such a nice pose and it looks really good for such a tiny little thing. Very interesting compared to most pilot figures. It's not actually that big. There he is with a bunch of other Gundam boys. And yeah, it's pretty much the same size as everything else. Just a very, very nice pilot figure. Bandai showing that Lockon love. Of course, it is worth mentioning that this kit does have a removable GN drive, just like we would have seen before with the Exia. This can be used with Bandai's LED units. You do know what I think of those, they're not great. The green are better than the blue I looked at before. But they're still a bit on the botchy side. None are included in this box, so you need to get them separately, or with some other kits that include it, like Exia Ignition Mode, or the Perfect Grade Gundam 007 sword. But anyway, there is a quick look of what it will look like in the dark with the lights turned on. And all in all, it's not great. I'd recommend leaving the sticker out on the front if you want to display this with LEDs. But from the background there, it doesn't look too bad. So this right here is what you will get when you just snap it out and snap it together. That is it. All I did was panel line the head ever so slightly, use the included stickers, but all in all, this thing is absolutely beautiful. So first off, I'll get the stickers out of the way. Number 1 is the one on the head camera in there. 2, of course, is the eyes. 3, this is for on the back of the head, but I don't like covering up nice clear parts like this. I would prefer to paint it clear blue sometime in the future. These little ones down here, they're for inside the GN condensers on the forearms. And these ones right here, you get 2 of each. And they're for the sight on the rifle as well as the pistols. And you have the choice of putting them underneath the clear parts or on top. Personally, I hate covering up clear parts, so I put them underneath. Also, we do get a sheet of sticker-style decals. I'm not a big fan of these sticker-style ones. The only one that was used was this one right here, which goes inside the chest section in front of the GN drive. It has a little bit of writing on it, which doesn't do a whole lot, really, besides block the light from the LED unit. So color accuracy-wise, this thing is absolutely and utterly fantastic. The only down point with this, of course, is inside the knees here. These missiles should be orange, finishing off that Irish green, white, and gold color scheme, but these are cast in grey, which is a bit of a letdown. You never really see them most of the time, but you know it's there. And we do have those cool holographic parts for the GN cables, and unlike that wreck of a kit, which is the Master Grade Exia, it's not that bad, but putting in some of these is finger-breaking, horrible awkwardness with the Exia. However, with this kit, they all slot in ever so perfectly. No bending, no shite-hawking, no nothing. They just slot in, no effort, perfectly, and stay where they should. Very, very nice. Visually, the last thing I will mention here is the green on this, like a lot of Bandai's darker colors, can mark quite easily. So when this plastic is stressed, it marks a lot. So I put some effort into avoiding that fact, and you can see here and there are some. And because of that, I did use this kit, especially the shields, as a test for the God Hand Nipper to see just how good it is. Because there are some massive knobs and gates on the shields in particular that mark quite a lot. So with using the God Hand, I could avoid them a little bit, not entirely. So I do recommend chop these at least 1mm to 2mm away from the kit and sand it down. That way you won't get the stress mark and avoid those little white dots all over your beautiful, beautiful Dynames. Besides the green plastic though, the white plastic and the grey plastic is like butter. So nice to work with, cleans up perfectly. Also, I will mention on some of the larger surfaces, because the way this was molded, there are quite a few mold lines, like around here on the big butt, and around a lot of the holsters for the pistols. So at this point, I'm just going to take a couple of you guys' questions. The main one is to compare it to the Exia, and all I can say is, the Exia is one beautiful, beautiful kit, but it just doesn't feel good. It's loose, it falls apart. If you've ever built the amazing Exia, which built on top of this, you can really see all of this kit's shortcomings. It just isn't perfect. This kit, on the other hand, is perfection. So they're both equally as stunning looking, but this packs so much more under the hood, the engineering is so much better. What I've got right here is a glass table, so when it comes to loose joints, this is absolutely unforgiving. If it's got loose ankles, it will fall. If it's got a loose waist, it will slide. So Dynames right here, completely dominating the glass table. As more than likely, I will never, ever, 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 ever review this kit because it will just fall apart on me all the time and drive me mad. What I would give this right here, if you're curious, is bronze tier. Looks great, but just keeps falling apart all the time. If you get some glue, glue it together. Anything that doesn't move, it'll be a lot better, less headaches, but out of the box, not great. No Dynames, that's for sure. I noticed a lot of you guys are hoping for an Exia 2.0, and I have to admit, so am I. So finally, here is Dynames with the rest of my Master Grade Gundam 00 collection. I'll also throw in the no-grade curios that I have. This kit I put a little bit of extra effort in just to kind of make it look a little bit more Master Grade-y, but if you do put this in front of the light or anything like that, you can see that it just isn't all that great. Getting close, these no-grades don't really hold up at all. But of course, like I mentioned in the unboxing, I'm totally hyped for them making this as well as Nadle Virtue because of the GN frame in the box. If you want to know more about that, you can watch that video. But anyway, some quick side-by-side comparisons. So first up, there's Dynames side-by-side with the Master Grade Exia Ignition mode. There it is side-by-side with the Gundam 007 sword, which started my Master Grade obsession. So once again, the 00 kits are quite close to my heart. Next up then is the 00 Quanta Full Saber, a gold tier, absolutely awesome Master Grade. Not quite this good though. There it is beside the Master Grade Jinx, which is not necessarily a very good kit. It falls apart, it's loose as hell. But I did put some extra effort into this just because I love it so much. Master Grade Grunts, especially for non-Universal Century Gundam series, are rare. So this, I love. Despite its flaws, I love it. And as for some non-Master Grade kits, there it is side by side with the perfect grade Exia lighting model. And lastly, there it is beside some of the Gundam 00 real grades. So moving straight into the build and the articulation on this, and all I can say is, it is absolute perfection. This, unlike this right here, the Master Grade Exia Ignition mode, or just the standard Master Grade Exia, this is loose, awkward, annoying, and just falls apart all the time. This may look similar like I said earlier on, but this is an entirely different beast. Now let's take a look at it. And as always, from the head down. First off here at the neck, we've got a hinge in there and a ball joint at the top of the neck. So there it is all the way up. Fantastic. All the way down. And just like we would have seen before with the Master Grade Gym Sniper, this whole thing can tilt up and out inside the shoulder there for one hell of a giggity goo. Besides that, side to side tilt, that can spin all the way around. And if the neck wasn't awesome enough already, we've got more in the head. This whole section here can pull out from the forehead to give you that gun camera right there. So that's gun camera mode. So of course that's for using with the sniper rifle, and that just pushes back in seamlessly like that. This kit, fantastic. Buy one now. Moving down now to the torso, again, tons going on. We've got that clavicle antenna right there. Both of those can move up. This has the simplest opening cockpit ever. Opens up like this, down like that, and you can see your boy Lockon in there, holding that little sniper rifle stock thing that connects to the main camera. That is such an awesome little detail. Close that up. Of course, you can see the GN drive a little better when that is open. Close that up though. Around in the back, more moving parts. This part flips up and out of the way. All of these open up, including this bottom one. And unlike the Exia here with its floppy crappiness and barely holding in GN drive, and when you pull out the GN drive, it likes to fall in half. Look at this right here. Oh, beautiful. Super simple. Looks like what we saw before, but looks like this thing is built perfectly. Not going to fall apart on you, and slides in and out securely, perfectly. Ahem! It slides in and out perfectly when you don't hold it at an angle that it will fall out. All of these lock it in just like so, but don't let it drop out. If that was not enough at the torso, these whole sections can pull out like so. This gives you even more articulation at the shoulders, so they can bend out like this, bend back like this. Just look at that. That gives you more up and down in there. This is so awesome. We've got another joint right here that moves the arm in and out ever so slightly more. There is that full rotation, and when using all that combined, this kit can cross its arm out quite a bit. Not a huge amount like some kits we've seen before, but quite a bit. Very nice. The shoulder armor up here can move up and down independent to the rest of the arm. This section here for attaching the shields that can pop out, rotate back, rotate forward, epic. Snap back in, stay in place. Inside of that shoulder armor, the arm can rise up like this. That right there is the maximum height you will raise the arm without having to flip the shoulder armor around to get more out of that. I'm not going to do that. There is that full rotation at the upper arm. Complete full bend at the elbow right there. Inside the forearm here, we've got this extra moving wrist part. The wrist itself can move up and down on a hinge, rotate around like this. The fingers, like we saw before, are those standard swappable fingers like this, so that's what they're like when they're popped out. And that one thumb right there that can move around like so. So there is the ab crunch to the front. So alright, ab crunch, well, not really ab crunch, to the back is fantastic. This little bit here can flip up and down ever so slightly. There is that side. Oh, wow. Side to side tilt. So we've got 2 points of movement down here. So down here below the waist and up here in the arms and head themselves. So they all circle that GN drive right there. Damn, that is good. That is the side skirts up. They can rotate outwards. Do not fall off. Just a quick look under there. It's a hinge and a ball joint, so these are so good. Of course, these can flip open like so for those crotch missiles. I'm always talking about premium butt flaps, non-premium butt flaps. This is the most premium butt flap I have ever seen. Up, down with those verniers. Spread that butt, they pop out like this. 1 and 2, that is quite cool. Nice moving gimmick right there. The beam sabers can flip out like so, and you can see there is a recessed part in here for those to rest into. Awesome. Inside the hip unit, the legs can drop down and up like so. You can see this little section here pops out while you do that, which is pretty cool and handy for pushing them back in. Man, I almost forgot there is full rotation at the waist right here. So first off, I took off the front skirt so you can see that the kick can go all the way up without that, but of course that does block it as front skirting armor tends to. So there it is with the skirting up. When you flip that out of the way to the side, you can get a little bit more than that out of it, but still pretty good. The 00 Gundams don't have side skirts, so that means full unadulterated splits. Dynames has that big booty, so that means these don't kick too far out to the back. If you slightly bring them out a bit, you can bring them a little bit further. Up here we've got that full rotation. Absolutely savage bend at the knee. That's double jointed here and here. Very nice. The knee opens up to show those knee missiles. They can rotate out. Moving down further, we've got this flap that moves up and completely out of the way. This rear armor pivots at this point, so there it is. All the way up, all the way down. The ankle joint in this, some of you guys did ask me about how it is compared to Exia, and it is fantastic. It's just 3 solid joints. So one that rotates it and pivots it up to the front like this. So that's back, forward, back, forward. We have that point of rotation, and this last one here that moves it side to side. All of these are tight and solid. Lastly then, at the toes, they bend up at 1 and 2 different points. Very nice. So one more time, 1 and 2. Once again, I have to say, this kit is mind-blowing. This is the best mix of articulation and solid build I have ever seen in a Master Grade. I've seen a lot of them. So that right there is it for the review, and I cannot deny I am absolutely and utterly shook. This kit is Gundarium tier. Was not expecting that whatsoever. I expected it to be somewhere around what Quanta is like, gold tier, better than average Gundam, but this thing does nothing wrong, besides those knee missiles, but we'll let that slide. Honestly, everything about this is perfect, down to the little tiny details. Except those knees. The articulation is fantastic. The build is perfection incarnate. This thing feels fantastic. So much fun to play around with. Nothing will fall apart. Everything stays where it should. It all feels buttery smooth. All of the accessories fit perfect, do what they should, look amazing. The only thing that would have been nice to see in here is maybe some more decals, but that's asking for a lot. Couple of dry transfers maybe. It's such a fun, easy, and quick build. It cleans up really well as long as you're careful with the greens. And all in all, at the end of the day, this is a kit that you cannot go without. Even if you're not a fan of Gundam 00, just like Gundam kits, this is one you have to have. Hopefully that Kyrios on the front of the box is a hint, as well as the fact that a lot of the runners say GN frame on them, that we will be getting the rest of the Gundam 00 main suits. I mean Season 1 and Season 2, hopefully all of them. I will settle for Season 1, but I need to see them, and I need to see them done this well as an Exia 2.0. Seriously, Bandai, give them to us. We need them. But anyway, if you do want one of these, there is a link down there in the description. You can get yours at Hobbylink Japan. As always, make sure to subscribe, like the video, it helps me out. And as always, make sure to come back for more gunpla reviews, and I'll see you next time. So yeah, in a complete moment of not being able to see the forest for the trees, I did the entire review without even noticing that. And I didn't even notice it go missing. So thanks to you guys on Instagram that mentioned that, or I never ever would have noticed, and I never would have found it at the bottom of a stanky ass bin. But anyway, I got it back.